Okay, we're on video number 6 for the new Southern and Sovereign Pest Control scheduling and accounting system. Uh, this one is really specific to dispatch and operations, and what we've got is a report that we're putting in the system that will record all of the detailed chemical information for our services. It's going to get us much better control of our services, knowing what chemicals we're using. Because as you guys know, watching these the prior videos, that we're inputting the chemical information at the time of service into the accounting system. So we're been able to get reports over date ranges for chemical use. We're going to be able to get reports by specific service items. What chemicals did we use for our last, for all of the ant reservices during the month of during a particular month, particular week. We'll be able to get reports by technicians, what chemicals were used by a certain technician for a day, for a week, for a month. By offices, we'd be able to say, okay, here are the chemicals that we use for, say, Northern Virginia compared to Richmond for a day, week, month, even a year. And, again, so I think it's going to give us a much better, control over our chemical usage. So I'm going to go into the system now and demonstrate how this will work. First thing I'm going to do is I'm going to go into the service orders, and let's just go in and I'm going to pull one that we have running that's already been set, so we can just go through the process of how the chemicals will be updated just for review. I believe this last one here is a pest control reservice. So I'm going to open this one. Yeah, and we've got a pest control resource for ants and spiders set for Roy for tomorrow at 6 o'clock or 12 o'clock. We're going to pretend it's today. So Roy's running this appointment, and he calls into the office and says, okay, I've completed this reservice. Here are the chemicals that I've used. So just, the process of actually inputting this chemical information, or the information that goes on the service ticket, which we've already talked about in a prior video. But just the fact that that we're recording this information just on an hourly basis for each appointment. Let's say this one was the spray rig, and then we'll also say we put down some glue boards. But just the fact that we're putting these in, and the fact that Dave is going to work with the dispatch department and coach them on what chemicals that the technicians should be using. They're going to be able to catch some things, maybe if the technician isn't using the right chemical or the correct amount, and those things. So just putting this information in the system is going to be a tremendous help. And then after we post this service, make it a permanent accounting transaction, post it to the general ledger. Okay, as we've talked about, we would be able to go in and retrieve the posted service invoice where we could see chemical information. So you can see here's the service, here's the chemical information. But we also have what we call the application report. And I'm typing it in here in the search, but we're going to actually put this report, a link to it on the cubes here. But see, this report, and I'm going to actually put for today's date so we can look at the service. It actually creates a spreadsheet with the chemical information. So you can see here, here's the service order number, customer number. Here's Roy's name. You can see pest control reservice. You can see the target pests, and then you see the two chemicals that we use, location of applications, linear feet, and the application equipment. So that's just for this one service. What I'm going to do is now I'm going to go in and I'm going to run it for all the transactions that we posted during the month of August. So you can see what this is going to look like with a bunch of data, with a month's worth of data. Okay. Now you can see what this looks like with, again, everything we practiced was during the month. But you can see we've got customer numbers, service orders numbers, we've got dates, we've got the posted service invoice numbers, we've got who ran the service, we've got the actual service items, you see the target pests, and you see the chemical information here. You see the quantity used, you see the location of applications, the linear feet, and the equipment. You also see any notes that were put in here. So we're going to be able to manipulate this data where we can get it by technician, by a certain office. Like these are just MC. It could be GA. It could be VV for Virginia Beach. Again, we can narrow it down to technician. We can narrow it down by the type of service. But this is going to give us much better information on the chemical that we're using and quantity. And hopefully, we'll be able to actually lower our chemical costs by just being able to, make sure that we're applying the correct amount of chemical at each service. So again, it's called the application report. We're going to put a cube here so that Dave can get to it eventually when he does his analysis with the spreadsheet. And I think it's something that's going to help us a lot.